Today we're going to review what we have learned during the whole week, which is about place value. Now, the first thing we're going to remember is the digit value. I'm going to remember that I have a number here, which has 7 thousands, has 5 hundreds, has 3 tens, and has 9 ones. When I put that number together, I'm going to make the number 7,539. So let's start with the digit value. This number is made out of 4 digits, digit 7, digit 5, digit 3, and digit 9. So I'm going to write the digits here, digit 7, digit 5, digit 3, and digit 9. Now those digits are making a number, but each digit, depending on the place I put it, is going to have a different number, a different value, I mean. For example, if I put in the ones, it's going to be 7. If I put it in the tens, it's going to be 70. If I put it in the hundreds, it's going to be 700. But if I put it in the thousands, it's going to be 7,000. So the 7 has the value of 7,000. Sometimes you're going to listen to that as the value, the 7 stands for 7,000. Now the 5, because it's in the hundreds, stands for 500. Or the value is 500. The 3 is in the tens, so it stands for 30. So the value is 30. And the 9 is in the ones place, so it stands for 9. Or the value is 9. Now, to make sure that my number is right, and when I add all the values, I have to have the same number I have on the top. So let me add them so I can prove to you that the value of all the digits together is going to add up to our number. Now remember that you have to line up the numbers by ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. So I have 9 ones, I have 3 tens, I have 5 hundreds, don't forget the comma, and I have 7 thousands. So far, when you do the addition of the values, you're going to have what we call as the standard form. So the standard form is 7,539. Now, before that comes the word form. The word form comes from the numbers that I have here. For example, the first one is 7,000, so that's the value, and that's what I'm going to write, 7,000. So I put here 7,000. Now the next value is 500, so the next word I'm going to write is 500. 500, avoid my comma. Then the next is 30, and the next one is 9. 30, so my number is 30, and then 9. So when I put it with words, that is called the word form. Now, let's do the next one. The next one is called notation. Now, notation has to do with the value of the numbers too. Now, how many thousands do I have? I have 7, so that's the first number I'm going to put. I'm going to open a parenthesis. I'm going to put 7 times, and the value is going to be thousands. So I'm going to put times 1,000. Close my parenthesis. Then the next digit is 5, so I'm going to put plus 5 times. Now it's going to be times 100 because it's in the hundreds place. So times 100. Plus, now I'm going to do digit 3. Digit 3 times is going to be times 10 because it's in the tens place. And finally, I'm going to do the 9 times 1 because 9 is in the ones place. And when I add it together, I'm going to have the answer. Now, to do the next part, if you notice, I'm using the digits and the value of the place. Now I'm going to use the value of each digit to do my expanded form, which is the result of my notation too. So if I do 7 times 1,000, the answer is 7,000, plus 5 times 100 is going to be the 500, plus 3 times 10 is going to be 30, plus 9 times 1 is going to be 9, which is the value here. So if you know, we're doing the same thing in different ways. So this is the first part that we're going to recall. Now let's go for the second part. The next part we're going to remember is comparing numbers. Now remember, to compare numbers, we're using symbols. The first symbol is this one, And remember, the open part is always pointing to the greatest number, and the little part is always pointing to the small number. This symbol is called greater than. How do I know? Because the first part I'm seeing is the greater side. Now, if we do the opposite symbol, that's called less than. And I know it's less because it's starting with the little part. And then we have the last one, which is called equals to. Now that I have my symbols, I can compare my numbers. So let's compare the numbers here. I have two numbers here, and I'm asking, the question is, which number is greater? Now, how do I do that? When we're comparing numbers, the first thing you have to do is look only to the thousands. Always look for the biggest numbers first. What I notice is that the two numbers there are equal. So I'm going to take them away because if they're equal, I don't need them to do my comparison. So, but I'm going to put that the twos are equal. So they are the same. Now then I'm going to move to the hundreds place. And I notice that in the hundreds place, there are 600 and 600. So they are the same too. So I don't need to compare this because they are exactly the same. So I'm going to put here that the 6 is equal. Still, I don't know which number is the greatest. So let me move to the next digit. Now I have 5 tens and 0 tens. And now because these are different numbers and I'm looking for the greater number, I know that the 5 is the greater. So that means that the whole number in the top is going to be the greatest number, and that the number in the bottom is going to become the least number. So I'm going to have this sentence now. Let me just split a little bit here the thousands so I can put my comma. So now I can tell the answer. 2,659 is greater than 2,609. Now I have my answer. But now I can have the other question. If somebody tells me which number is the least or is less, so the only thing I have to do is switch them around. Because I know this is the least, I'm going to put it first, and the other one in the other side. And now my sentence is going to be a little bit different because now 2,609 is going to be less than 2,659. Now I can do that in written too, so I can write the numbers. So I can put here that 2,659 is greater than 2,609, or in the other hand, 2,609 is less than 2,659. Now we're going to order 3 numbers from the greatest to the least. In these lines, the greatest number is going to be here, the middle number here, and the least number has to be here. Now to do that, we're going to do very similar to what we did before. Because we're looking for the greatest number, we're going to look first to the thousands. And when I look at the thousands, I see that the 3,000 is greater than 2,000. So that means automatically, because the 2 is the least number, this is going to become my least number. So 2,499 is going to become my least number. Why? Because only has 2,000s. Now I have 2 numbers left. I have the 3,468 and 3,409. So which one is going to be the greatest? The same thing. Because these 2 3s are equal, I'm not going to look at the 3. They are equal. Now look, the 4, it's again the same number. The hundreds are equal. So I don't need to look at those because they are the same in both numbers. Now here, the tens this time is going to decide who has the most, who is the greatest. Because I know that 6 is greater than 0. So that makes this number the greatest. 3,468 is going to be the greatest, and 3,409 is going to be the middle number there. So now they're organized from the greatest to the least. Now today we're going to add something a little bit new, which is the symbols. Because this is the greatest, I have to put that these numbers are greater. 3,468 is greater than 3,409, and 3,409 is greater than 2,499. Now I can do the same with the other numbers. Instead of doing from the greatest to the least, I can do from the least to the greatest. And the only thing I have to do is change the order because I already have them organized. So I'm just going to put them in the right spot. So this is going to be the least. And this is going to be the greatest. And so the only thing I have to do is switch them around. And then my symbol is going to change because now 2,499 is less than 3,409. And 3,409 is less than 3,468. So this is how you compare your numbers using symbols, and you're able to read it too.